Hello, everybody, and welcome to NASCAR.com and NASCAR Facebook Live for another exciting edition of NASCAR GarageCam. We're live at Dover International Speedway, and we're at Autograph Alley. Look at Corey LaJoie, busy as heck, signing some autographs. Dale Earnhardt Jr. on his final appearance here at Dover, signing some autographs in the long line. His old late model there, he just signed a die-cast of it, the Sundrop car. That's pretty darn cool right there, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Earnhardt's had quite the memories here at Dover International, including some firsts. It's the first state, man. Do you remember your first start here at Dover? Because I certainly do.
Well,
it was successful.
Yeah, it was. We had a couple good runs here in the Xfinity Series. I remember racing Bobby Hillin all day long.
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome, and he was running the top, which I wasn't quite experienced at just yet. So that was a good lesson all day long to sit there and watch him do that. Really fun track, especially when it widens out and you can use that middle and third groove.
All right, Dale Earnhardt Jr. enjoying some time here with the race fans at Dover. And, you know, he is one of the better beards in NASCAR, but this guy's got a pretty good beard too, Jimmy Johnson.
But yeah, over the hill.
I think he needs a beard sponsor, kind of like Corey LaJoie here. LaJoie's got a beard sponsor. Tell us about this beard sponsor. Yeah, I interrupted you, Jimmy. I'm a rude guy.
Well, he had a front row seat yesterday. I see me about Michael McDowell in the fence.
Oh. Could you rate Jimmy's beard? It's getting a little salt and pepper.
No, I would give Jimmy's a 7 for 7 times.
Scale, but winter is coming, and that's when beards come out.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah.
So tell us about your sponsor, man, because you've got a beard sponsor.
So Fresh Beards is on the car this week. I've been working with those guys for a couple months. This is their logo.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So, yeah, they're on the car this week. I'm excited to have them. They're a Pennsylvania-based company. Small company just starting to get going. They just they incorporated in 2015, so they've been only going at it for 2 years, and it's a privilege to have them on the car this weekend and give them some love.
Oh, this is the first state, and would you say your first place in the beard department in NASCAR? Because there's a lot of
there's some good ones.
Epic beards right here. What would you think? Where would you rank beards in NASCAR? Austin, where would your beard rank in NASCAR beard hierarchy?
I don't know. There's some pretty good beards in NASCAR. I think LaJoie, myself, and Jeffrey.
Oh, I forgot about Jeffrey.
Jeffrey's got. I'm not allowed to have too much girth on mine. RC makes me trim it. So
off season.
Yeah, off season I'll be good. But
I want to see you looking like Zach
meat.
Brown in the off season, man. Come on.
We could do that. Be in a hunting stand. I got good beard butter, Maestros. It's good stuff. You should look it up.
Fresh Beards.
Fresh Beards. The sponsor plug gets in there. And, you know, I mean, this is a hairy sport, you know, but Eric Jones over here, let's do a little commentary here, Corey. Come on, walk with me. Eric Jones over here lost.
Jones just got the mullet chopped off against
about
everybody's
that.
better judgment.
You have any final words for the mullet?
He shaved all 4 hairs he had on his face off, so I'm actually happy to see that. That was quite a weak beard he had going on.
Yeah. This is like beard rating. We're judging.
I mean, he looks like he's back running trucks for Kyle Busch Motorsports.
He looks like he's 15 again.
He looks like he's 15 again.
Michigan, you know?
Yeah, it's Snowball Derby. So that's clean cut Eric this morning.
Or we could go back to like mini stocks in Martin, Michigan. You know.
Well, yeah, he still can't grow a beard. He's still 24 years old. But yeah, I'm excited. I would say mine stacks up in the top 5.
Okay, top 5. Hey, real quick, this place right here, Dover, we talk about the first state, and you had a pretty cool little first moment here as well at Dover and run of the E Series, and I remember being in Victory Lane with you. That was a pretty cool day.
Yeah, so that was I've always ran well here. I finished top 5 pretty much every time I come here, and we won the Can-Am race in 2012. And finished second to Kyle Larson in the championship there. So I hate we didn't get the big trophy. And watched the race last night with Todd Gillen blowing right front and cost him the championship. And Harrison Burton got it. So congrats to both those guys for good years. And this is a special place, man. It's the Monster Mile.
Okay, I'm going to give you 2 questions here. You choose which one you want. Who won the first race at Dover, or why is Dover referred to as the first state?
I'm going to take the first question. And I'm going to guess it was a Petty. Lee Petty, maybe?
No, it was after Lee Petty. It would be Richard Petty in 1969.
Okay. Well, I had half
You're close.
Right.
You had half the question right. So 0.5 for
LaJoie. And I don't know why it would be called the first state.
You don't?
Thought that was
Okay.
like
It's because they're the first state
Massachusetts or
to
something.
ratify the Constitution.
Okay.
There you go.
That makes sense.
Hey, GarageCam makes people smarter. Thanks for joining us, Corey LaJoy. Always a good sport. One of the best beards in NASCAR, besides Jeffrey Earnhardt. And signing some autographs here for the fans. Here's a guy that's working on his scruff, his beard, but maybe not a full beard right now. But Kyle Larson. And Larson does pretty well at Dover. We've seen him finish second here before. And this place right here, the first state and one of the greatest racetracks on our circuit, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I seem to enjoy it more and more every time I come back. So it's an exciting place, and we've been close to a couple wins now, so hopefully this is the weekend.
Hey, we were just joking with Junior and Jimmy and them over there about beards in NASCAR, man. And you're kind of growing the scruff right there. Who do you think's got the best beard right now in NASCAR?
My beard is awful. I just have a little scruff so I can look somewhat my age rather than 16. But the best beard in NASCAR, it seems like everybody stepped their beard game up this year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to choose. You know, Jimmy's really good.
So you got some off-season work, don't you?
Kenseth got
Okay.
one good. Junior is all right. Jeffrey's good, and then Corey. You know, he's fairly new to the Cup Series, and I think he's got a running for the money in that.
All right. Give him a run for the money this weekend. Kyle Larson in the number 42. And you know what? This is GarageCam. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner. We're going to take this time to actually walk in the garage. And why not walk into the garage with Chase Elliott? Live on NASCAR.com and NASCAR Facebook Live. Welcome to the show. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and what you want to see on NASCAR GarageCam as Chase Elliott signs some autographs in the garage area with a fan of his Hooters number 24 paint scheme. Of course, this weekend in the Napa Chevrolet, taking selfies with fans and enjoying his entry into this beautiful garage area. This is one of the more aged facilities as far as this garage. Kind of like old carports in this garage area. And now we enter Main Street in the NASCAR garage area. We flipped sides of the garage if you're expecting to see the second half of the garage over here. Well, no, we flipped it. The point leader is now over here. They kind of gave a little bit more space in this area right here by making a wall behind these haulers or in front of these haulers. Let's hop onto the other side of this racetrack right now, of this garage area. Talking about beards and all sorts of fun stuff and history. Chuck Bush, our producer, and I visited Fort McHenry the other day, the birthplace of the Star Spangled Banner. An incredible history up here in this region, and we visited this morning the Battle of Cooch's Bridge, the only battle to take place in the great state of Delaware in the Revolutionary War. But battles have been taking place here at Dover with NASCAR stock cars since 1969. And we talked about how Richard Petty won that first race here, 6 laps ahead of the second place finisher. You want to talk about dominant performance, there you go. Here's the number 14 of Clint Boyer. What a season he's had. Of course, the season will always be forever stamped as not making the chase, and the disappointment that, of course, is attached to that. But if you look at the performance of this team, if you look at the traditional point standings in NASCAR, he's within the top 10. So good performances for this number 14. He's only won one stage this season, but Boyer, not a bad season. So don't judge because you're not in the playoffs. Bottom line. Eric Jones, the freshly cut hair. I don't know. I wonder if he gave a eulogy to his mullet before trimming it, cutting it off. I would expect that. I might have to trim my hair now next week. Trevor Bayne, Tennessee driver. Of course, we're in the pit box right now, though. Fans of Daniel Suarez. And I'll tell you what, Suarez had a good run in his first run ever in the Monster Energy Cup Series. He's, of course, had truck starts and K&N starts and Xfinity starts at this racetrack, but his first Cup start finished 6th. That's pretty strong for a rookie competitor. You know, got a lot of laps around here, though, and Dover is a rhythm track, and it really takes a knack to get around this place, and this is a guy that picked up that knack pretty quickly, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Of course, his first race ever here, 1998 in June. Big win in the MBNA Platinum 200, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, then the Busch Series. Junior picking up that win. He told you, battling Bobby Hillin, who eventually finished second in that race, I believe. But Dale Earnhardt Jr., his big win in 2001, we have documented that several times with NASCAR, and of course it's on NASCAR.com right now. A win that healed a nation in a way, at least NASCAR Nation. This was their platform to come here to this raceway and hold up the American flag and celebrate what it stands for and the unity that it stands for that day. And after those tragic attacks on 9/11, that was such an important thing. It was the first NASCAR race that we returned to the track and competed, and the emotions were high, and the level of patriotism was just as high. Dale Earnhardt Jr. received an award yesterday in the Media Center commemorating that day in 2001. Paul Menard, the number 27, alongside rookie competitor, the Geico number 13. That reminds me to make sure you check out the Sunoco rookie pieces, the little radioactive for rookies, as I like to call it, on NASCAR.com every week. Our video department works very hard on a lot of those features, so make sure you check it out. We have a lot of cool stuff on NASCAR.com, including this hairy guy that usually has a better beard. We were talking about beards, but he's the playoff beard.
Yeah, I shaved the weekend in Chicago, and now.
Oh, so this is okay. That's legit.
Yeah.
I respect
like
that.
Folks are like, "Oh, what happened to your beard?" It's like the playoffs. It's a playoff beard,
man. It's
yeah.
playoffs. Hey, are we talking about playoffs?
We're talking about playoffs. As you see,
playoffs.
Matt Kenseth rolling through Tech, a playoff car.
Well, it's hard to see it because he's behind tires there. But Matt Kenseth, oh, you want to talk about the first 8? Let's talk about who was first in practice. We're talking about practice. We're talking about the playoffs. We're talking about practice. Well, the number 20 team right here had a lot of speed yesterday in practice. Kenseth in this number 20. The Wisconsin native. This is a team looking for speed right here. Teammates parked right next to each other in this garage area. The number 37 of Chris Buescher and the number 47 of A.J. Allmendinger. Right alongside the pink ride, Ford Warriors in pink on the Danica Patrick entry this week. When we were here in the spring, Danica Patrick with a very strong run, a 10th place finish. And what was even more impressive about that 10th place finish was the fact that she spun earlier in the race. So coming back from that near disaster of a moment to finish 10th was definitely one of the high points of the season for this driver of the number 10. David Reagan, new paint scheme to show off here on NASCAR.com, the house.com on it. Pretty cool. Hey, Matt DiBenedetto's Ford with the Toyota, with the, the Corvette parts on it. Thinking about Toyota before, because man, they have had dominance this year, but the Fords and the Chevrolets are trying to play catch up from their early season dominance, and right now the recent dominance of Toyota as a manufacturer. Landon Castle, the number 34, as we make our way through this garage area. Ross Chastain made his first career Cup start right here at Dover, and of course, use your melon and drive sober, the sponsor on this car. Fresh beards. The Corey LaJoie race car right here at Dover. The 23 man going all blacked out this weekend, pretty darn cool. You see that helmet right there, pretty cool logo as well. Corey LaJoie rocking it pretty well, the rookie competitor. Family originally from the great state of Connecticut and now resident of Concord, North Carolina. Brett Moffitt, a teammate this weekend in the number 83 machine. And there it is. Folks, unanimously, I believe we should vote the best beard in NASCAR currently. Maybe not in history. Paul Menard's had some strong beards, but no beard has been stronger. No beard has been stronger than the driver of the Hulu number 33, Jeffrey Earnhardt. He's not here right now, or else we would interview his beard. Anybody chiming in here at Facebook Live, NASCAR Facebook Live? We love it. Louis DiDonato, of course. We always talk to you. I would like to see Chase Elliott. BJ McLeod, the number 51. 66 of Timmy Hill. Walking over into the bright sunshine onto the other side of this garage area to show you some of the cars and the stars. Hey, there's Michael McDowell. What are you singing, McDowell? What's got the spring in your step this morning?
Well, I woke up to find out that I'm not going to be able to participate at happy hour.
Oh,
so rather than having a bad attitude, I've been singing the Wonder Years song for some reason. I'm not really sure
wait,
why.
the Wonder Years, like
yeah, you know, like what
the show,
would
Penelope,
I
or
do with my bad attitude?
would I sing out of key?
Or just sit down at the end of pit lane, you know?
Lend me your ear, and I'll
give
sit
you a
on pit
song.
road.
I'm going to give you a song in happy hour. Listen, stay tuned, everybody.
Michael McDowell, he's in the punishment, the sin bin. If you're a hockey fan, it's the penalty box, but it was brought to light a lot last week, and it's not something new. Drivers who are penalized, maybe for failing pre-qualifying technical inspection, get penalized, and it doesn't just mean the car doesn't hit the track. The driver has to take the car out, not in the garage, and take it out onto pit road and sit there. And I think the only reason it got as much tension as it garnered was the fact that Joey Logano had to sit out the entire session, so people argued, including Dale Earnhardt Jr. on Twitter, why is he sitting at the end of pit road when he's not going to even practice or fire off a lap anyway? But it's NASCAR's way of getting the driver heavily involved within the punishment. So it's an understood thing in this garage area. Some people agree with it and disagree with it, but baby, it's America. Some people are going to agree, some people are going to disagree, and NASCAR says the punishment fits the crime. The Farmers Insurance number 5 of Casey Kane in the garage area. This driver has a lot of points to make up this weekend at Dover. The number 41 of Kurt Busch. There's the number 3 of Austin Dillon. You know, we talk about history being in the first state, and I think it's really cool. This place has been racing since '69. This place, Pocono, a few other tracks came into fruition then. But, you know, an interesting fact also is the fact that racing has gone on in this state a lot longer than that. As a matter of fact, the first ever auto race in the great state of Delaware was held before the Indianapolis 500, and that would be 1908. It was called the Bonnet Contest. The Bonnet Contest, because bonnets, of course, you see the hood lifted on this number 3. Well, bonnets were a British term for the word hood. So basically, it was a race between Newark, Delaware, and Wilmington, about 30-mile round trip. And whoever could make that distance without lifting their bonnet, going under the hood to make repairs, would win the race in 1908. A far different form of motorsport than what we see today in NASCAR. There you go. The more you know. We're having a little fun on NASCAR.com GarageCam, but we are in the playoffs, a round of 16. This is the cutoff race in our sport, and the number 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the 2-time winner this year. This is a place where Ricky Stenhouse circles on his calendar. They run strong here. He may only have one top 10 finish at this racetrack, but Ricky Stenhouse Jr. can get it done on this concrete high-banked oval. You see what he's done at Bristol. This is just a half-mile longer. Bristol on steroids. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr., luckily for him, where he sits in this playoff race, this is a track that he has a pretty legitimate shot at at it. But, you know, anybody in the top 16 has a shot of making this next round. This is a free-for-all, man. This track can reach out and bite you, especially off turn 2 where it narrows down so much. Trouble can strike at any time. Mobil 1, proud sponsors of NASCAR.com GarageCam. We thank them for their involvement in NASCAR.com and in this sport, of course. A sponsor, Stuart Haas Racing as well. And look at Alan Mincy pushing. Is he really pushing, folks? I don't know about that. No, he said no. Pushing that number 4 car of Kevin Harvick, that Ford, into its stall. The number 4 looking for a little success and hoping it comes within the playoffs for Kevin Harvick. Indeed, they just fell back in points just a little bit after last week, of course, but the season just hasn't gone as well as they had hoped for Kevin Harvick. Last year, 2016, 1,384 laps led. So far to this point, in 2017, only 626 laps led. That's a stark difference, but you have to also remember this team has started with a new manufacturer this year. Throw away a lot of your notes. Of course, setup things can be very similar as far as shocks and springs, but aero packages and just all different things, nuances between the manufacturers. This is not a completely new team. It's most of the team from last year, but of course that manufacturer change is something very difficult, very challenging at times for a team to take. The number 24, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott has run 3 races at Dover and has an average of 3.7. That is unbelievable. The best average of anybody along this row of playoff contenders in this garage area. And right now, it's hard to call this guy a dark horse for the win, but since he doesn't have a win in the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series, let's just call it what it is. He is a dark horse today, but this is tomorrow, it's Sunday. This is Saturday. But Chase Elliott, the Georgia native right here, definitely has his eye on that first win, and this is a place that it can definitely happen. One of the worst average finishes of anybody in this division here would be the driver of this number 21 car, who had a good finish and climbed up to 8th in points. But his average finish in his 3 starts here in this series is 26. If you play NASCAR.com Fantasy Live, you might want to look for that. What car is Miles holding this weekend? Oh, out on the promenade. I believe it is the 43, Richard Petty's car, which I think is apropos that he'd be holding the King's car, since the King is the first ever winner at this racetrack. Speaking of winners in the great state of Delaware, the first state, nobody has won here more times, and I'm not talking about active drivers, you know, just active drivers. I'm talking about in the history of our sport. Jimmy Johnson, unbelievable the statistics here. He has led over 3,000 laps at this racetrack, 3 poles, 11 wins. You know, I would say that this last win, last time we were here, and Chuck, you can debate on this if you want. I was more impressed with that last win than any of them, because they had to, I forgot what they had to change, something in the rear end or whatnot, and they had to start at the rear of the field. So from the back to the front to get that win was something spectacular and something that this team can hang their hat on. You can always hang your hat on statistics and say, yeah, Jimmy Johnson's the man here at this track, but for this team in particular, not just the race car driver behind the wheel holding the steering wheel, to come back from starting in the rear like that is an impressive feat. Matt Kenseth, the Wisconsin driver, strapped behind the wheel of his number 20. Earplugs in, ready to put that helmet on and get down to business in practice. The number 11. All right, behind the scenes, always on GarageCam. All right, tell us who you are, what you're doing, and explain to the fans.
Well, you know, I'm just out here at a racetrack making a movie about race car drivers, and, you know, it's just a great day in Dover, Delaware.
Man, that was so generic. Do you work for a PR firm now?
Well, it's because I can't hear you.
What?
What?
Check out that rig right there, my buddy Brett, getting it done in the garage area. We like to have fun and show you some of the behind-the-scenes people. And you see right there the number 2 of Brad Keselowski and his crew chief, Paul Wolf. looking over some of the work to the rear end of this race car. And the number 2, the blue deuce, the white deuce, what will we call it now? Is there a new nickname for it? 5 minutes to go before we fire off on GarageCam, and we fire these cars onto the racetrack for the first Saturday practice, a rare Saturday GarageCam show. Let us know, man, if you like it or not. We're always going to, most of the time, 95% of the time, be on Fridays. But this week we decided to switch it up a little bit. So there you go. 3-time winner this season, Kyle Busch in the caramel car. And the big winner last week. Quite a performance for this team to do so at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Kyle Larson, the 42. Credit One Bank. You'll see them a lot on this car in the 2018 season. And the number 42 with that paint scheme rocking. With that 4-win season. You saw those stickers on that car. Man, I don't think anybody's more ready to go than the number 78 of Martin Truex Jr. in his Denver Mattress car. And talk about pure dominance in a season. We talked about that performance in 1969, the first race here with Richard Petty, being 6 laps ahead of, the competition at the finish. And it's hard in this day and age of parity in our sport to see dominant performances such as that. But the butt kicking, let's just say, that the 78 in the Toyota camp has really whooped up on the field. It's amazing the last half of the season. The first half of the season, you saw so much dominance from Ford and Chevrolet, but Toyota, 27 of the last 33 stages have been won by a Toyota. That's impressive right there. 48 of the 85 stages in this season have been won by a Toyota. So over half of the 3 manufacturers, that is absolute pure dominance. Cameramen just about everywhere. Look at this. We got still photographers right here, Copley and Rusty. We got videographers right here, my boys from NBC, sitting there socializing, getting ready to work their butts off here during this practice and get it done. Brandon Hewitt. And then this is great. Up, Brad Keselowski. Drivers are now entering the garage area. You see Brad Keselowski walking and talking with some fans here at the first state. And Martin Truex Jr. We saw the window net down. We thought he was in there. Truex pulling a little fake on us. A 3-time winner at Dover International Speedway is Martin Truex. Chuck Busch is socializing over there. We were looking for Chuck. So many firsts, and so many firsts in NASCAR when you think about the great history of this sport, from the first race ever for NASCAR and Charlotte, the Southern State Fairgrounds, and so many great moments in this sport, including Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 2001, right here at Dover. And you look at marquee moments of history in this country and in our sport. 1964, Jacksonville Speedway, Wendell Scott becoming the first African-American winner in our sport. And here is the number 78 car, the Denver Mattress machine of Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. Well, I had to be polite and ask you because you look like you were texting somebody. I didn't want to interrupt that, but
making plans for this afternoon.
What, for some big seafood dinner?
No, it's what tree I'm going to sit in.
All right, man. Let's talk about first, because this is the first state here in Delaware. Of course, it's not your home state, but do you remember your first time at Dover?
My first time at Dover was actually here to race. I never came here to watch. Just
because,
really? Yeah, no,
okay.
never came. So it was 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, Busch North race.
Okay, and you've gotten some wins here, including a big first for you. So this place has got to be obviously special.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. It's close to home. Even though I didn't come here as a kid to watch racing, I always did on TV, and we were always racing somewhere. So that's why we didn't get here. But yeah, I've been coming here for a long time, and definitely, like I said, close to home. And it's a crazy story. I was here on 9/11 testing, and we had to stop at lunch because the ambulances had to leave. So kind of crazy, but a lot of history here. So excited to be here and starting first tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get it done.
We appreciate it. All right, Martin Truex, we always appreciate you being on NASCAR.com GarageCam. And hey, we forgot to ask him about the beard, but he sure has a darn snazzy beard in this garage area, and that's about it. That's an interesting story I had never heard of, the fact that when September 11th the attacks took place, he was right here at Dover, and this is a place that we returned to and had so much healing from in 2001 when we came back to this facility here, the little horse track with a big old racetrack around the outside of it. Delaware, the first state, provided some incredible racing over the years. 95, this will be the 96th Monster Energy Cup Series race here from back in the 69 to now. 397 drivers have competed, 35 different winners. Who will get the win? Will it be Jimmy Johnson's 11th win? Make sure you tune in to the Apache Warrior 400, Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBC Sports Network. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner. I appreciate every single one of you watching this show from the bottom of my heart. And as the flags flap in the breeze, folks, make sure you tune in to NASCAR every single weekend. We love this sport. We love this country. We love this state. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner. And until next time, we'll see you at the races.